It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Hey, everybody. It's another fine episode of Ears Up Podcast, the podcast that helps you keep your ears up, bros.
Man, we are not failing at the terrible intros.
No, why would we? Why would we?
It's like our thing, though.
It
It's
is.
like become our thing. Like pulling a
Yeah.
Terrence, it's like having a thanks.
Yeah.
They,
Pulling a Jason is just being awkward and uncomfortable. Sounds great. We have an interesting show for you guys today. We are going to run through all of our missing feedback. We're just going to do it all in one show, get it out, just knock it out. And then we have a bunch of Disney news to talk to you about. And that's it. That's our show. I think it's going to be cool. A lot of the feedback we've been getting lately has been kind of, I wouldn't say controversial, but it has been, it's stuff that we can actually talk about and you know, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like instead of just glossing over it and take 15 minutes for, you know, on each show and talk about each individual piece of feedback, we'll just lump it all together in one segment. And so I think it'll be pretty cool. And then we have tons of Disney news to talk about that I think is going to be pretty interesting too. So we might as well just do a whole show about it. I don't know how long it'll take, but you know, I guarantee you'll at least chuckle maybe once.
Maybe.
Maybe. I guarantee you maybe. But
Guarantee maybe.
But first, find us on iTunes. You can rate us on iTunes. I think that helps somehow. Stitcher Radio is where I listen to myself personally. Also, Google Play has podcasts and all that kind of stuff. Anything else that you need to that you want to listen to us on, let me know. Send me an email. You can find us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Probably some other pages. I don't really know. You can send feedback on the show to Taryn at earsup-podcast.com, and I guarantee that it now works, and she will actually receive it. You can send compliments of anything. Pay a compliment to your wife or your husband, but send it to Terrence, Terrence, at earsup-podcast.com. You can say hi to Bev, and anything else comes to me. My name is Jason at earsup-podcast.com. We are visited in the studio by Not Greg.
Hi, everybody.
Our friend Not Greg, who recently went to the park and pulled a Terrence. Actually, he blew Terrence out of the water. He pulled a Greg.
He pulled a Greg.
he got, instead of a churro from every land, he got a churro from every cart in every land. That's pretty intense.
Go big or go home, right?
I want to see if someone can beat that and get a churro from every cart in land
And DCA.
and DCA.
Oh.
Pulling a Conrad.
Oh,
That's what we decided.
That's clogging an artery.
Pulling a diabetes.
you're not liable for anything
Right.
that may happen to you.
We do need a disclaimer.
We really do. Trigger warning. Support great radio like this. Go to earsup-podcast.com. Visit our Amazon link. Make sure you have your ad blocker software turned off so you can actually see the link. Click on that. Make it your default Amazon profile page. Instead of typing in Amazon, go to your bookmarks and fire it up that way. We get a little cut of that. Amazon gives us a little bit. You don't pay any extra, and it's a win-win. We can also take reoccurring donations or one-time donations if you guys want to donate $1 a show, something like that. It doesn't really matter. Anything to help us out, anything to help keep the lights on and keep us coming here doing this kind of thing and entertaining you people, I think that'd be great. You can also go to getcoveears.com and learn about the best way to customize your Mickey Mouse ears for your next awesome day at the park. Yes! And then, of course, we have friends that we want you to support. So go to the earsup-podcast.com About Us page, and there's a page called Friends of Ears Up. And those are all the people who've been supporting us, and really we don't have money to pay them to do this. So this is the best way is have to give them your money.
I rocked my churro shirt in the park this weekend while
Oh, really?
eating all of these churros.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's even better. Very good.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I had somebody who was being led around by a plaid say, "Hey, where'd you get that cool shirt?" I'm like,
Oh.
churroshirts.com.
Churroshirt.com, that's right.
Obviously afford it. Buy several.
I know.
Hey, Greg, did you tell, like, when you were starting to get to, like, number 5 of 9, did you start telling them what you were doing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, cool.
I took selfies with the people who
Oh,
were
that's right.
serving the churros to me.
And what'd they think?
I don't know. I
Great.
really.
They
Oh
didn't
yeah.
say
Hey,
anything?
great. Thanks.
Oh, that's too bad. They're like, we're doing our job.
Yeah, like here.
Get your churro, get out of here. Stop talking to me. There's people behind you.
It's almost my break time.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the people in the pictures actually did look like they were kind of excited. So, but some of them were like, "All right, weirdo, move along."
Well, it's not every day that you get selfied for handing out the best pastry in the park.
That's true. That is true.
You know what I mean?
It should be, but that's
The
true.
best frozen
Yeah,
pastry.
right.
Arguably.
Pre-frozen, reheated pastry. It's fine,
Arguably?
though.
Arguable.
Arguably,
What is better than the churro,
Trippin'.
pastry-wise?
Any of them?
Any pastry, like what?
Ooh.
I don't,
Like what?
like a cupcake, like
A cupcake is not a
turnover,
pastry.
Doesn't matter.
Is a churro a pastry?
Yeah.
yeah, it is definitely.
I don't know, but
Bam. If I had a microphone that wasn't on a stand, I would drop it.
Shut them down.
I can take mine out and throw it at you.
Please do. It's not mine. I don't care. All right, Taryn, you ready?
Yes. For everything and anything. You know what sucks about books?
What?
They're all
Is that you
wordy.
have to that
No
and
picture.
Books be all wordy.
they have no photos. No, that you have to hold them. It honestly irritates me. Like I would read a lot more if I didn't have to hold the book. Because like when I'm like laying in bed, like I wish it could just hover over me. And then when I turn to my side, because like I don't want to lay on my back that long, and then if it would just follow me, I would read so much more and so much faster. That's all.
Audiobooks?
No, because I want to read. I
not
don't.
reading.
What
I
about like?
want to actually read it.
Tell people why you want to read so much.
Because I want to learn new words, and I want my vocabulary to get better.
No, that's not what you said the other day. What did you say the other day?
I don't know. That's what I thought I said. What did I
You go, I want to read more. I think I'm getting dumber.
say that on here?
Oh boy.
Stupid Alexis brought this all up.
Dear Taryn, why are you so stupid?
She called me dumb, and then I started feeling dumb, and then I started, when I was like having conversations with Jason, I couldn't think of words, and I was like, I'm getting really dumb.
And I'm like, door. Refrigerator, not even refrigerator. Milk,
I hate you so much right
blue
now.
skies, clouds. And you're like,
Stop
yes.
it. Stop it.
Oh.
No, so I wanted to start reading more again. I was an English major. I've read 1,000 books in my life, but I stopped reading.
1,000.
Are you okay turning the pages? Or do you want it to do that too?
Oh, that would no. I don't want to turn the pages.
I
If
think
it's
that
gonna
would-
hover,
Somebody
it's gonna change the pages.
Build her some sort of apparatus.
No, I have the
It's like
greatest.
this harness just so it goes around.
The Samsung VR glasses.
Oh, that would
You
work.
have something like that, and with like
Yeah.
a Siri kind of built in. You get to the end, turn page, just turns the page for you. It'll literally
Calling
go
Jason.
wherever you are.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
there we
No,
go.
that would be great. But if you have the VR headset on, you shouldn't be walking.
she's talking
for
about.
sure.
She's talking
No,
about
like laying in
Okay, yeah.
bed.
I mean, they should. I mean, look. As much as I want to make fun of you, they should have like a headset with like an arm that comes over, and you can clip your book in it like
Yeah,
that.
That'd be great.
Until it malfunctions. and
It
your
would look
book falls
really
on your
cool
face.
too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong because I've had the same thought over and over again, which is why I sit up in a chair and read now.
And if you're in bed, the only way you can really read and be comfortable is to be on your stomach, on your elbows, and read that way.
Or your chin.
And then
I
your
can't
back
do
hurts
that.
and
after
that's
5
not,
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's not very comfortable either. So yeah, I agree with this one.
Thank you.
All right, Taryn. Let's do some feedback. Our massive,
boy.
massive feedback. So
So
not only
much
do we
feedback.
have feedback from our last time, from the show that we didn't do, but we have a bunch that from last time. So we got a lot of feedback to run through.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All right, so let me know which ones you want me to take for you because it's a lot of talking.
Okay, I start a few of them that I would prefer, like a couple sections. If
Okay.
you could take those. But
Sure.
I'll go ahead and start off. And I kind of put these in sections because some of them deal with similar topics.
Great. Great.
This first one is from Mia.
Maya.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm just getting in your
It
head.
was funny. She actually spelled it out. She's
Oh,
like,
really?
it's not Maya. It's Mia.
M-E
And so I thought that that's why you were
UH.
saying that.
Well, depending on what she has to say, it might be Maya.
She says, so I'll start by saying I'm a huge fan of the show and everyone on it. Love you guys. But something was said in the Imagineering Again episode that made me a little upset. The topic of the disability lines being longer than usual and questionable hit a soft spot with me because I have 2 disabled siblings and babysat a disabled child for a while. All 3 of them have an invisible disability, meaning they aren't in wheelchairs and they don't, quote unquote, look disabled, but they are. I feel like since you're all able-bodied people, you shouldn't be commenting about how disabled another person in the parks looks and if they're disabled enough to be in the disability line. Standing in a 30-minute line with a nonverbal autistic child isn't something people can do, nor should they have to because they don't look disabled. It's not your place to scan the line and try and see who doesn't belong in that line. If somebody in the disability line, they have every right to be there. People with disabilities deal with others. People with disabilities deal with others staring at them and commenting about their quote-unquote weird or strange behavior on a daily basis. I feel like as Disney fans, you should remember that all people come to the parks to enjoy it as best they can, and it's not your place to have an opinion on how disabled a person enjoys the parks. Also, the reason why the lines are longer is because more people are coming to the parks this year. More people means longer lines in every area of the park. I hope this comment made sense. I've been nervous about writing in because I didn't want to come across rude or anything. Keep up the good work. I love your show.
Too bad. No, I'm just kidding. So, Bev, that was your comments.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, well, here, you go ahead.
Well, do you want to read
No,
the
there's
next
the
one
next
as well?
one. Is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd read
We
the
can do
next
that
one.
as well, sure.
Well, first of all, I just did want to say one thing real quick to Mia is never feel worried about
No,
writing in.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
You
to
know,
write in.
and honestly, I'm worried about this. The more vocal I get about people disagreeing with us or kind of saying that kind of stuff, and I definitely don't want to ever discourage anybody from listening or emailing in, for that matter, or think that you can't or that your opinion won't be welcomed here. Your opinion is welcomed here. I will enjoy telling you how you're wrong. But definitely write in.
case.
Not in every
case. No, for sure. We've gotten a lot of really great feedback that we've taken to heart, and we've made some changes on the show. And we listen to people. This show is for you guys. I mean, it's for us too, but it's for you guys. We want you guys to have fun listening to it, and we want you to feel that you're a part of the show. So if you have something to say, write in and tell us. Please don't be afraid. We're never going to shut you down unless it's the Alexis chick who badmouthed Taryn in a very inappropriate way.
And that's the difference. There's a difference between expressing an opinion about disagreeing with us and then
Yeah.
attacking someone.
And
Correct.
being constructively critical about things that we say that may or may not have been perceived well.
Yeah, and that's fine. And that's fine. And that
But
we all
just being mean is different.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
going to
That's
pull
the
an audible.
difference there.
Pull an audible. Go ahead and respond to the first one.
Okay.
We'll take the second one, and because the second one's slightly different but sort of similar. So just go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, I'm gonna first say I completely agree with you. It is not my place. I was being Terrence.
Why are we not in the press room right now?
Because
I'm
I told her
kidding.
she didn't have to do that.
I'm
Because
totally
you told
kidding.
me I didn't have to have
totally
a
kidding.
press conference, and I didn't want to. I think that she's completely right in everything that she said. I know what I was trying to come across as saying didn't come across well. I wasn't saying everybody in the line was a faker. I just felt that I had never seen the line. I know that it was more busy, but I've seen the park busier, and I've never, ever noticed it like that. And there were people who were clearly not disabled. I mean, I know that there are people who are visually, like, I can't tell if they're disabled or not, but there were people who were very clearly not disabled in all aspects. And that frustrated me so much.
I remember you saying
and
like
that was
one,
what
like
I wanted to get across
one.
was like, just don't be a cheater. You're being a cheater, and you're making it terrible for people who need that line.
I think you were saying that one teenager had like a
She
a
had
cast.
a broken arm, and she was there with
Yeah.
2 other girlfriends. You
Yeah.
can wait in line if you have a broken arm.
Right, for sure. And what we also said was it would, we were kind of brainstorming or just thinking out loud, like, people should have to, not prove it, but get a doctor's
Yeah.
note. And then we're like, but Disney's never going to do that. So
Well, I think that gets into the second email.
yeah, well, that's fine. We're just talking about it now. So,
Yeah.
so it's kind of the natural progression. This is a very conversational show. This is
Right.
the same kind of conversation that you would have with anybody else. That anybody listening has probably had, except for those
Right,
few
and-
people
well, and
who
somebody
have
else-
people who have children with disabilities. But even then, sometimes I imagine if you have a child with disabilities, you don't want people without disabilities being in the line just as much as we don't want people without disabilities being in the line.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. And unfortunately, I know people who have taken advantage of this system.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah, that's not cool. It's not a cool thing.
And knowing that it's very easy to cheat the system made me get I will admit I got a little judgy.
Well, and you had just come off a
Not-
trip, so
Yes.
it was fresh in
So
your
it was
mind
fresh
for sure.
and I was
yeah.
irritated and like I said, I'm not saying that everybody in the line wasn't disabled. Obviously they were. I would even say most of them were. I just think that there were some very clear instances where that system was being abused, and I wish there was a way to perfect it.
Yeah.
But there is not. And I also just want to point out, I made some bullet points. My final bullet point was if you listen to the show and you cheat the system, I want you to know that I personally think you suck.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Very eloquently put. All right, Taryn, go ahead, please.
All right, the next one is from Dan. He says, I'm a little sad that I have to do this and be that guy, but here goes. For a semester at San Diego State University, I was given the opportunity to spend a semester studying disabilities and how they are talked about and dealt with in society. It was a great class, and I think it should be a required course for everyone since it opened up so many people's eyes to the world and what we quote-unquote normal people never even have to think about.
That's kind of cool. I would take a class like that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'm not saying that people don't abuse the system. They do. I totally get the spirit of what you've said in this podcast. I know you guys are awesome, accepting people who would never mean any harm to anyone because I listen to the show, all of them. But some of the comments that you guys made about people not appearing to be disabled, while we've all fought them, need a second layer to clean them up a bit. Again, people do abuse the system. Please keep in mind that there are a number of real disabilities which cannot be seen. Some people have processing issues which make standing in long lines unbearable. And while they might seem to the outside observer as just like you and I, none of us can imagine the nightmare that these people experience when they can't manage it. I can give a laundry list of issues, but I don't intend for this to be a lecture. Maybe it hit me a little harder because I took the class, but it also hit me. But it also probably hit me because I'm not neurotypical myself, aka my brain no worky like most people's. Yet it's hard to get people to understand the very real struggles I have because I seem normal and have learned to appear so. When on the inside, it's sort of a constant decoder ring to understand the world designed by people who see things in straight lines while I see nothing but circles. My point here, and again, people abuse the system, is that an able-bodied neurotypical person saying that certain people don't look disabled comes off a little gross. People don't have to present a doctor's note because asking them to do so would be legally problematic and sort of offensive in practice. At what point is a person obviously disabled? Disney has come up with an imperfect solution to provide maximum access to those who need it. Sadly, the people who do abuse the system are really only hurting the people who actually need the system. But I'd wager that they stand out as fakers to the people who actually know what it's like. And the judgment they get thrown at them is the size of several White Houses.
That's my favorite.
Sorry to get all serious on you guys. I totally love the show, long time. But part of loving someone is telling them when you think they've stepped over the line, or in this case, just sort of poked at it unknowingly. Peace and churros. Peace and churros.
Dan, I appreciate the well-worded email, and you're right. We needed a layer to clean up. I don't know if it was gross.
Well, I
But,
can understand how it could have been perceived as gross. I never wanted what I said to come across as attacking anybody with disabilities, and
No, of course
I don't
not.
think it did. But
I do-
obviously it was perceived inappropriately, and I apologize. That
Well,
was never the intention.
I think it's just like Dan saying here, right? He goes, I'd wager that they stand out as fakers to the people who actually know what it's like, and the judgment they get thrown at them is the size of several White Houses. Well, the judgment that people with disabilities are making against people in line without disabilities are the same judgments that we were making with people in the disabilities line without disabilities. So we kind of are doing the same thing that Dan is saying, but we need, just to clarify a little bit, I guess. Which is fine. I'm more than happy to clarify a point. I think we all make points that we believe in, and if we're wrong, we're going to say we're wrong. But if we're right or if they need a little clarification, then we're happy to provide that. I still think that you are correct, and I still agree with you, Bev, that there are people in line that don't need to be there, and it's mucking up the line for the people who actually need it.
Yeah, no, my old boss,
That's it.
who is my old boss and I have no loyalty to, so I will say this. Her husband has a quote-unquote illness.
Yeah.
So she and their 6 children all got in the disabled line, every line at Disneyland. He could wait in line. He's an able-bodied person.
Yeah. 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 I mean,
it sucks.
again,
and it makes me really unhappy.
It is an imperfect system, but that being said, if you're an able-bodied person who can wait in line, do it.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of being a scumbag.
And
if
on
you
that,
don't.
and also, I want to say, on that same trip, I saw a woman carrying around oxygen in a scooter, going up the line to Mickey's Sky School.
Goofy's Sky School?
Yeah, that too. That's somebody who probably deserved to be in some sort of expedited line.
I completely
Yeah.
agree with you.
Also, if you have oxygen, don't go on Goofy Sky School.
No.
Come on.
Very scary.
You might be a little more. Might be a little fragile for that ride.
Yeah.
Go on the Zephyr.
So my takeaway is that Disney needs to hire Dan and a bunch of his friends to stand there and screen able-bodied people, right?
I think
what we
so.
got?
Yeah. I think so.
No. Am I generating more feedback?
Well, just direct it to Greg.
Yeah.
Or not Greg.
Not Greg.
Not ears up.
Not
Not
ears
Right. All right, Taryn, continue, please.
Okay. I can keep going. These ones were starred. I was going to have you do them.
Oh, I can do them.
I can keep going.
Okay.
Excuse me. Hi, this one's from Tiffany. Hi, Ears Up crew. I've only listened to a couple of your first shows. I think up to 6. But I need to let this out. I can't believe people who are doing a Disneyland podcast have so much negative things to say about
Yes, that's us. we blew her mind.
it. We did.
Yes, I love it.
She says, especially the food.
Yes, the food is kind of terrible all around.
Blue Bayou is my favorite in the parks.
Oh,
Their
no.
surf and turf, gumbo, cheesy scalloped potatoes are just to die for. The churros, duh. Cafe Orleans and Harbor Galley, so much good stuff. I basically crave at home every day. Also, you guys are so wrong about Thor. He's my favorite of all the Marvel superheroes, and I loved what they did in Inventions.
No, you didn't, Tiffany. Come on. No, you
Nobody
didn't.
loved that.
Nobody loved it. I'm sorry.
I stood in there. We met Thor,
I have the photo to prove it. He was like 4'8".
but he had platforms on.
He really did.
His name was Four, not Thor. His name was Four.
He had platforms on.
He had platforms on.
And his Nordic accent. Hello there. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. She continues, I love the Christmas editions, but I also like hearing your different opinions on it, I guess. I know
You're
these
wrong, but we'll hear it.
yeah. I know these shows are older, and I plan on listening to more.
Okay, good.
There's not many secrets of Disneyland that I still haven't heard about, so hearing the different perspectives is interesting. I literally can't name one thing I dislike about Disneyland except the crowds. And Fantasmic is not lame. It's my favorite, absolute favorite thing ever about Disneyland. All right. Thanks for reading my slight rant. Despite all this, I still love the show. Gonna go catch up on more. Thanks, Tiffany.
Tiffany, thank you. I just got to say, honestly, if you say there's nothing you don't like about Disneyland, then you're not looking at it from the
Not
correct
human.
perspective. There's no way. So you know what? I love everything in Disneyland. Autopia, amazing.
Here, do me a favor. I'm going to just on the air now because this is the third time in this show that I've told you got to talk in the microphone like this.
When I talk that
Like
way,
this. You got to talk to it like this, like at a 45, and that way, and you got to project a little bit more. But when you move here, it doesn't really. Yeah. So, there you go.
When I talked that way, you pulled it away and changed it again.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
It sounds great.
Anyway,
You sound great.
I'll-
You know what you need is a thing on your head, like to hold a book.
It's like
Hold the
saying you
microphone.
love everything
There
about
it
this
is.
show. It's not possible.
No, you can't.
Stop it right now. Get out.
No, I understand where she's coming from, and
I
there
do
are
too.
times where we come across as a bit negative, but
I've never heard that.
You cannot say that you love everything about Disneyland. There's no way.
No,
There's no way.
Well, I mean, there are people out there like that. I mean, there are people out there who
Right.
love everything about a certain thing, and I'm not gonna bag on you, Tiffany. Not too much. But I agree. You can't love everything about it. I love Disneyland, but I think it could be improved. I think the things they're doing now, I think, are kind of bad for the park. Personally, that's just my opinion. And I have a microphone, so I'm just going to tell you. And if you want to listen to it, that's totally fine. We do have negative things to say, but we have a lot of positive things to say too. So, focus on that a little bit more too. But I think the negative things are really just kind of, we're talking about it just to be, entertaining and to discuss also how maybe it could be better, how we would like to have things. And it really, again, it's a conversational show. So it's just like a conversation that other people would just have walking to the park or walking back from the park. Man, that was tough. How can they just let so many people, and what can they do to release, some of that pressure in the park?
Right.
Oh, well, what if they did the whole kind of thing, right? So, like when you get into the Imagineering shows, it's not that those rides that we decided to kind of remake are terrible or awful, even though we probably say the words. It's just, when you're putting on a show, you kind of use some of these words that you may or may not mean. It's just that these are the rides that we think could use a little plussing.
Yeah.
Well, when you love something too, you're going to be critical if it's not meeting its full potential.
Right, Taryn
Absolutely.
beats me down every night.
Just ask my mom.
Yeah.
Well, and also
Did I step on your joke?
Nah,
Oh, okay.
that's all
All
right.
right.
I think that's also what sets our podcast apart a little bit. I think a lot of the other ones are very like rainbows and unicorns and
Yeah, I don't want to
we
love
never
everything
wanted to
about the
be
park.
that.
Yeah, I don't want to be a podcast who loves everything about the thing that we're talking about and everything is great, because most people don't feel that way. And Tiffany, look, the Blue Bayou has decent food, but I'd rather go to Rancho.
It ain't worth the price.
No.
It is not worth the
It's
price.
for-
That's
the
what it
ambiance
is.
is great.
It's
It's
not
the
the
price.
ambiance is awesome, and you're paying for that. But the few times I've eaten there, I didn't dig it. But
Yeah.
maybe we just got off days. I don't know, man. But churros, I'm with you on that.
Yes.
yeah, we're all with you there. She won't hear this for like 2 years probably.
I know. It's probably fine.
Okay, the next one is from Billy. So my daughter and I are huge Disney fans. My daughter is obsessed with Goofy, so much so that she's met Bill Farmer at least 3 times. We are Disneyland obsessed too. I was just turned on to your podcast and I loved it. I wanted to share the show with my daughter, so I queued up the latest episode at the time. I believe it's Jim, and I think he means Jason. Totally desecrated Finding Dory,
I like Jim.
which my daughter loved. He went on and on about how bad it was. He went on and on about how bad it was, while I watched my daughter go from interested, annoyed, angry, then Dad, I'm done.
Thanks a lot. Jim.
I shut down his kid.
Way to go, Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
He says
Jim's
Fired.
Jim's fired.
He says it reminded me of the paintings that morph in the Haunted Mansion.
That's funny.
I was laughing at the transformation, but needless to say, I enjoy listening to the podcast by myself now. Enjoy the show. At least I do.
Goodness.
Well, Billy, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for writing in. I'm sorry that we shut your kid down. We should have had a trigger warning for sure on that. Look, and I think we said that on the show. I don't have kids. I think it was terrible. I'm sure kids loved it, and I'm clearly in the wrong because it made $1 billion. It made like $900 million or whatever is the total right now for it. People clearly love it. I don't see the excitement. I don't see the draw of the Dory thing, but I'm totally stoked that your kid loved it, and she's met Bill Farmer, who's the voice of Goofy, by the way, whoever that is, and so that's cool. That's awesome.
That's cool. Jason, if you want to take the next couple.
Okay, this is in response to Taryn's Thinks feedback. This is from Amy. She says, "Hi, ears up, friends. I have only met you once, minus Bev. I'd like to call you friends as I feel like you are." Smiley face. Of course, definitely. I haven't even finished listening to the latest podcast, and I felt it was important to pause and email in my response to the hurtful comments towards Taryn. Honestly, it goes back to the famous saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I love hearing Taryn's thinks and laugh along with the super random but funny things she comes up with. I also have an amazing imagination, and I think of random crazy things as well, and knowing that, and I love knowing that I'm not weird, I'm normal. I only wish you recorded more episodes and that Taryn had more thinks, as I miss hearing them. Anyway, keep up with the great work and know that there are a lot of people that love listening to you. Hugs to you all, Amy. That's nice.
Thanks, Amy.
That's a really nice piece of
That
feedback.
is very nice.
Let me tell you why you're wrong, Amy. I'm kidding. No, you're not weird at all. You're totally normal. Everybody's normal. Look, the brain is supposed to think about stuff. That's what it does. Don't worry about it. You're all right. You're normal. Taryn, on the
Some
other
brains
hand.
just think about more than others.
Right. Some weird stuff. Next one is from Mary. She says, I'm currently listening to the episode where a listener named Alexis insulted Taryn. I have been binge listening for the last week or so, and the first Taryn's things actually caused a spit take. It was so funny. Taryn is charming, funny, and disingenuous, which I'm not going to be shy. I had to look up disingenuous because I thought it was insulting.
I thought so too.
So here's the definition of insulting.
It's actually very
Disingenuous?
nice. Disingenuous.
Yeah. I have to look it up again. Not candid or sincere, typically by pretending that one knows less about something than one really does.
Okay.
Which is actually very accurate.
Okay.
Slightly accurate.
Very accurate.
Super accurate.
And this is why I love reading feedback, because I learn new words. I love listening to her, and I could hear the hurt in her voice. I was angry on her behalf, and I felt the need to send this email. You guys are great fun to listen to. I hope you continue to make many more. Thank you, Mary. I agree with that. Hey, Taryn, Alexis clearly was in a mood when she wrote that feedback and is very much one of those people that forgets there's a person on the other side of the internet. I think like you, well, not exactly like you, but similarly,
Fair enough.
and hearing those weird thoughts aloud makes me feel a little less crazy for having those ideas. Do birds have best friends?
What?
Does my cat have a favorite color? And the all-important, where would I live if I were a homeless person? All these are the hard-hitting questions, and exploring them is important. Haters gonna hate, Holly. P.S. Cloth toilet paper is totally a thing. Hippies up here in the great wilds of Washington use it, but I doubt many celebrities do.
So I have a question for you guys, and I don't know if you guys remember or not, but did I ever do that thing where I wondered where I would live if I was a homeless person?
Yes, we did, because we
Okay.
talked about living in Honolulu. That's
Okay, I wanted to make sure, and I was like, "Wow, like she's like my sister."
Yeah,
that I
you
don't
two
even
can
know.
never meet.
what. She's your
It would
doppelganger.
cause some sort of
Yeah.
disturbance in
Yeah.
the flux capacitor.
Cats and dogs living together in mass hysteria.
Oh boy, that's funny.
You want to keep going or not?
I can go. Or yeah, keep going. It's better when you do it.
God.
Did you think that was going to be an easy question? Because it's almost like you haven't known me for almost 7
I just
years.
wanted a yes or a no.
I understand, but
Yeah.
have you ever gotten that?
This is what I've learned from you is when I ask you a question, you give me an answer, and then I know now to pause to wait for the real answer that's
second
the exact opposite of the actual answer. This is called Questions and Suggestions for the Crew by Julia. Hello, Ears Up. Julia here from Salt Lake City. Terrence thinks is my favorite part of the show. Don't let jealous people get you down. Actually, she said a bad word, and then she wrote beeps. So.
No, I wrote beeps.
Oh, okay. Don't let jealous beeps get you down. When there's an episode without a Terrence Thinks, I'm genuinely disappointed.
Agreed.
My fiance and I will be spending the first part of our honeymoon at Walt Disney World next month. If I remember correctly, Jason and Taryn also went to the parks on their honeymoon. Do you have any tips for honeymooners at Disney World? We have a 2-day park hopper and then plan on going to Mickey's not-so-scary Halloween party the 3rd day. I plan on dressing up as the bride from the Haunted Mansion, and my soon-to-be husband will be one of her beheaded grooms. That's what it says in the email. This will be my fiance's very first time at Disney World, and I haven't been in almost 5 years, so I'm a bit rusty on Disney World knowledge. Is there anything we should skip? Anything we should not miss?
One thing I would suggest just right off the bat, if it's not too late for you, I would try, if you haven't already done it, upgrade your room to concierge level. That made such a difference for us.
Yes, try to, yes, concierge level for sure. When you check in, tell them it's your honeymoon.
Yes, definitely do that.
And
It might not get you anything, but it might get you something.
it got us upgraded at Disneyland.
At Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm
They didn't
fairly
care
certain.
at all at Disney World.
No,
but,
they didn't. But
But it might work for you.
yeah. Okay, so tips for honeymooners. Drop the honeymoon thing all the time, just
Yeah.
everywhere, because
Wear-
you
it-
never know.
Yeah, get ears with
Get
a
a button.
veil. Get a button. Get all
Get
the
a button,
things. Make
yeah.
sure everybody knows you're on your honeymoon because people are really nice to you.
Wear your wedding dress to the park.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
Definitely.
And then by the time you're done, you'll look like the Maitlands from Beetlejuice. They're just all dirtied and torn, and because there's a lot of people there. Let's see. Anything they should skip? I would skip Hollywood Land.
Oh yeah.
because there's really nothing going on there. The Aerosmith ride is pretty cool, and that's kind of about it. The Tower of Terror here is pretty good there, but otherwise, no. If you like drinking, Epcot.
Yeah.
Go to Epcot. There's a lot of cool,
Well-
funky, old school rides in Epcot.
Well, it sounds like they're going in September, which means it's the Wine and Food Fest, which means that they might have a chance to see Christopher Cross. So I would do that.
Hashtag jealousy.
Yeah, go. Yeah, check out the Food and Wine Fest. And then the Eat to the Beat is really clever.
Can't miss Toad the Wet Sprocket.
No, you can't.
No, you
Isn't that
can't.
where you drink around the world too?
Yes,
Is it
so you can do the drink
alcohol?
around the world. There's a lot of that is honestly what I would do again if I had the opportunity, or when we go back to Disney World.
You're gonna drink around the world.
I'm gonna try it. I think it'd be fun.
Bruh.
I mean, really, like if you've been to
Pulling
Disneyland,
a Jason.
Rent yourself,
Bruh.
rent yourself a scooter, bruh.
yeah, if you've been to Disneyland, I would suggest doing all the things that Disneyland does not have in Disney World. Like we went to Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh yeah.
We don't
And
have that
was
anymore.
Yeah,
Went
yeah.
to Liberty Square, it was mostly shut down. We don't have that anymore. We went to we never had it, but we were going to. We went to the Haunted Mansion. Their version of the Haunted Mansion is different.
It's very different.
So do that kind of stuff. That's what I would recommend. Do the stuff
Go
that
on the
Disneyland
People
doesn't
Mover.
have. But yeah, go on the People Mover, do all that kind of stuff. It depends on where. Okay, she's in Salt Lake City, so maybe she goes to Disneyland more. So yeah, that's my official suggestion. The Disney Springs is kind of cool, which is their version of Downtown Disney.
Yeah,
There's
it
a lot of
is.
shops. It's very
how long
kind
you're
of close
there.
together, which is kind of cool. It's a different feel. It's like a little village feel to me. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Like ours is kind of just this straight shot, but theirs is kind of meandering, and it's like an
Yeah.
alley, but there's the lake right there, or the marsh or swamp that they've laked up. You know what I mean? And then the Jacques Hangar Bar.
They have some good drinks.
That was cool. Definitely try to go to Trader Sam's in the Polynesian.
Yeah, that one's a little harder to get into, but try and make a reservation. I don't know how you do that there, but that one is really different than the other Trader Sam's, and it's very cool.
Yeah. Those would be my tips, but definitely the concierge level. Do that. Pay for it. It's totally worth it. And it's your honeymoon. It'll probably be the only time you ever do it. Spend the extra $100 a night. It's worth it because then you go back and enjoy it. Go
Yeah,
back in the
use
middle
it.
of the day. Take the monorail back or the boat or wherever you're staying.
It replaced 1 or 2 meals a
I
day
would
for
say that's
us.
food, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's like little snacks and stuff, like little
Like half sandwiches
pastries and
and
stuff like
things.
and
You
booze.
can eat 30 of them. It's cool.
You
No,
can.
you actually can.
Yeah,
No,
you just
no,
keep
I
going
know.
back. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's definitely my recommendation.
Cool. Next one is from Jennifer. Hey guys, love the podcast. It's become one of my favorites. I'm a Bay Area local too. I first heard about your show from a dear coworker, Rachel, Terrence's sister-in-law.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you for all the great interviews and all the great laughs. Today I listened to your talk about the season passes. I too have thought about not renewing, but if I know I don't renew, if I don't renew, I won't have the excuse to go a few times a year. The last few times I've gone to the park, it's been so busy. I long for the days when we could stack up our fast passes in the morning and then bring them back in the evening. Yes, I was guilty of abusing the older system where they would accept your passes after the time frame.
Get out. Stop it. Jennifer, you're fired. I'm kidding.
Beverly, do you have a comment about that?
I don't actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because why don't you try to have one because we need more feedback.
No, I actually don't, because I think I did that too.
She says, now I know if we're not going to make it back to the ride in time, I will find some unsuspecting random couple and ask them if they'd like our passes. It's fun to pass the magic forward. I think about it as good Disney karma. I understand there is a new app for that. It's called, quote unquote, Pass It Forward. We didn't use it on our trip last month. Have any of you guys tried it? Thanks again for the show. Sincerely, Jennifer. P.S. I'm doing some shopping on Amazon and wanted to help the show out by using the link from your site. But there doesn't seem to be an active hyperlink on your website. Is there a code I can use instead?
No, unfortunately not. Just make sure you have your ad blocker software off. You may not even know you have it, and then it should pop up.
I've had that happen before too,
Yeah.
and my adware or my whatever blocker isn't on.
I
I've had to go through just a different web browser, and it works.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like
So
Firefox
yeah,
is
like sometimes
good.
Google just doesn't work for me, so I'll go through Firefox or Safari, and it works fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, yeah.
store that nugget away.
Yeah, change that up, and maybe I'll email it to you. I don't know. We'll see. I
As
have
for this, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have not used Pass It Forward. I've heard about it and then forgot to mention it on the show. It seems kind of cool.
I don't understand because fast passes are not they're paper. So you just find people that have
like meet up like
Yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly.
cool.
If someone want a fast pass to
it's like
this,
it's like
right.
dating in Disneyland.
It's like
like
dating
fast
Disneyland.
passes.
So here's
It's
the
like Tinder
do you
for
swipe
fast
left if
passes.
you don't want it?
Right.
I didn't say that.
yeah. Monsters Inc. Swipe left.
Terrible.
Let's see. Pass It Forward is an app for unused Disneyland Fast Pass sharing. Disneyland and California Adventure crowds are heavy every day. Fast Pass, and this is written in 2009. Fast Pass tickets help by reserving a visitor's place in line for some of their blah, blah, blah. Visitors must return and use the blah, blah, blah. Many features include users can follow their favorite attractions or rides and will receive notifications the moment new passes become available. Easy-to-use chat settings help users list their extra fast passes, decide who to give their pass to, and how to give it to them. Useful notifications queue. That's kind of cool because really then if you have your fast passes all dialed in and you just kind of want extras for certain rides, you can just look them up and just kind of get notified, and you don't have to necessarily trade or whatever. People leave the park all the time.
Also, the fast passes for the rides that break down pretty often, they're a lot more liberal on the window.
Oh,
So,
that's true.
we were at the park this weekend, and both Indy and Star Tours were broken down during our fast pass time. And they pretty much said, that they're available. They're good all day.
Oh,
So they're being a little more liberal on that.
That's cool.
that's really good. Let's see. Okay. This next one is from our friend Clayton.
Oh.
First of all, Goofy Sky School. I'm just going to read it exactly how it's written. Just
Yep,
want you
that's
guys
the
to know.
best.
First of all, Goofy Sky School is amazing, but I've ridden the county fair version, so Disneyland version doesn't scare me. Doesn't scare me after that because it's, well, Disneyland and not two carnies setting it up.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Also, in the Cars movie, also, in the Cars movie,
I love Clayton. I
do
really
too,
do,
'cause
man. I
it's
love
like-
this dude.
And I think I've said this before. It's like how David Bowie wrote Ziggy Stardust songs, where he would just clip a bunch of lines and put them in a
Yeah.
hat and draw them out, and like that's what it. I think his ideas are all like that, and he just decides I'm going to tell him number 4 and number 89 today.
So, also, in the Cars movie, Lightning McQueen's agent calls Radiator Springs Radiator Stinks. You love to say how Taryn stinks, and that reminds me.
I love to say. First of all, let's clarify. Taryn, I've never said that you stink.
Thank you.
Okay, I like to say Taryn stinks. But I've never called you stinky. Well, except one time, but not in the studio.
And that reminds me every time of the proceeding. My wife and I always refer to.
The proceeding. I want to analyze every email because this guy.
I want
Clayton's a nutcase,
to
man.
meet him and see if this is how he is in real life.
I love him.
I don't think he is. We've met him
We
before.
did meet him, and he was. Didn't we
Super
meet him at
nice, super
Disneyland?
normal.
Okay.
I think it was at Disneyland. He's like,
He's, like,
maybe
incredibly
like
normal.
mid 30s. Like
Okay.
just I imagine him like a crazy old man who
Right.
who takes notes about about the comings and goings of his neighbors and is like 11:34. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Bill left something in the car and had to go back and get it.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yes.
And it's like
Yeah.
color coded
We'll
in
observe
levels
later.
Yeah, levels of strangeness.
He's calling the cops. Just a heads up.
Yeah. Right, try running this. Go ahead, Taryn. Sorry.
That's okay. My wife and I always refer to the rise as radiation stinks racers, and figure the juvenile in each of you would like to do the same. KP Spy. Thanks for the insanity. I bust to work now and have a lot of time to kill. No cereal, whatever. Ears up for life.
Radiation stinks razors. I'm going to start doing that.
This is pretty funny.
Clayton.
I like Clayton.
That's Clayton.
Clay.
Here's another one. This is from Lindy. Hi, thank you all for the time and energy you put into the show. Thank you. I actually really appreciate that she understands it takes energy to put this show on. I have to say that I really enjoy finding others who like talking about Disneyland. I love the new stuff I learned from your show and just the dialogue about the happenings in the park. We are one of those families that get the "you're going to Disneyland again" comments. We go at least once a year, and every time our kids have a new favorite ride or show. My son and daughter loved the Jedi training last trip. though you may have answered this before. Beverly, what are you doing?
We can see what you're doing in the notes.
Yeah, so for
Oh,
those of you
sorry.
not watching our computer screen,
Sorry.
we're using a shared
looking at me
document,
like
and everyone's sharing it. And Bev apparently is one of those people that highlights words
Highlights when she reads.
as they're being read, and so we're
I
just
don't
kind
like
of
to lose my
she's just highlighting all the words
So we're all
and it's
seeing it?
throwing everybody.
Instead of having her finger under the word, she just highlights it in Google Drive.
Sorry.
She mouths along.
I can't use my finger because it would highlight because I have a touch screen. You guys suck.
Anyway,
Oh.
I'll go on.
I
Thank you.
apologize.
I was not giggling at your email. I was giggling at Bev. Let's see. Where was I?
We are one of those
Can I
families that gets
trade
the
for
your.
last trip? If I was highlighted, I knew that.
Good. Thank you, Beverly. Though you all may have answered this before, why do you keep going back despite the crowds and costs? Also, I will be leaving my family behind and going to Disneyland half marathon with a friend over Labor Day weekend. We'll be in the park one day, and this will be my first time paying for a peak day price.
Ooh, yeah.
Kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
They have added a lot of races at Disneyland. Would love to hear a show on it. Thanks again for the show, Lindy. So, first of all, why do we keep going back despite the crowds? I don't know.
I love Disneyland, and they haven't made it too expensive or too crowded for me not to go.
For you not to go.
For me, yeah, they haven't.
Taryn and I haven't been as often as we have in preceding years, the last year and a half, and we're getting rid of our annual passes because it's too crowded. I like Disneyland, but I also want to do other stuff. And so we're not going as much because of the thing, because of the prices, because of the crowds, because everything is shut down, and I'm kind of not really stoked on the direction that the parks are turning right now. I think Star Wars Land is kind of a bad idea, personally. I think Hyperspace Mountain, bad idea, or bad execution even.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it as I was a couple years ago.
Okay.
It's fair.
Beverly, why do you go?
I really like it, but I'm not going anywhere because it is too expensive and it is too crowded.
Yeah.
Now, question. You're not going anymore. Ever?
Well, no, that's not true.
Then that
She's
proves-
taking a break.
Proves her point. That's exactly what she was asking. We
I'm not
keep
paying
going.
for an annual pass.
No, I understand, but I'm saying even how much it is for a normal ticket, we'll still go because it's still not too much.
So she's okay. So she's saying that she gets the "you're going to Disneyland again" comments. They go at least once a year. I mean, maybe we'll go once a year.
Maybe.
I think that makes more sense for our lives now.
right.
Yeah,
I agree.
because we were going 4 to 5 times a year,
And
that,
it's excessive.
That got crazy.
Yeah.
So okay. So I guess no. Terrence has a point. Why would you go at least once a year when things don't really change all that often? I don't know. It's
Nostalgia.
nostalgia
Yeah.
for sure. It's a place that is not like the real world. You don't have to think about a bunch of random stuff. It's very clean and people are nice and everything is picture perfect.
Yeah.
for
You
the
sort
most
of know
part.
what you're going to get. It's kind of like McDonald's. You know exactly what you're getting when you walk in. Sometimes it's not as good as it was the last time. Sometimes it's better. But you generally know what you're getting yourself into, and it's generally pleasurable. Like, it's a nice, fun time. Even if you don't have your best trip ever, it's still fun. You still
Why do you
leave
go,
with a
Greg?
Smile.
Well, this is the first year I had annual passes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're not getting them next year. It was a nice way to kind of engage in the park and do something differently as our vacation for the year.
Mm-hmm.
But to do it again a second year in a row, yeah, it's the value proposition. I just don't know that we want to do other things and we want to, engage in other activities. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a, you can take it, leave it, and turn it on, turn it off. And I'm actually getting really sad that we're getting towards the end of the year. We definitely got our value out of the pass, but it's hard to kind of shell out that next money for the next year.
It really is. It really is. And I think that's where Taryn and I are at now, too. Me, probably more so than Taryn. I'm kind of excited to be at the end of it because that means more money for us to do other stuff that we want, that we want to do. We'll go back to Disney, and we'll probably go back next year. I would like to,
Yeah.
anyways, but not as often because it's crowded. It's too crowded. Every time we go, it seems like it's more crowded than the last time. And maybe some of that's me, but it's just also there's a lot of stuff that's closed.
Yeah.
and a lot more people are driving in.
Well, and I'm also hoping that going once a year instead of, say, 4 or 5 times a year,
Yeah.
it's going to make it a little bit more special, and maybe we
Like,
won't
appreciate
notice
it just a little bit more.
And
Yeah.
I think we won't notice as much of the negatives as we do because we're there so often.
I
Yeah,
get that.
probably.
I get
Yeah.
that.
That's
yeah.
what
That was our
hoping.
approach before we had season passes this
Yeah.
year, right? You know, you go once every couple of years or maybe once a year, and yeah, it's new all over again.
Right. Yeah. I'm
You
kind
get
of excited
feeling.
about that.
Like, I don't really get that feeling anymore.
Yeah,
know what I
because you're
mean?
just kind of there. You're like, oh yeah, I was here last month.
Yeah. Or I was here, 5 months ago. Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I've been here in the last 3 years. I've gone 15 times or something
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's too much. I think it's too much.
I get
agree.
that.
Yeah.
You want to take the last one, Taryn?
Sure. Yes, please.
Okay, this is from Dan. He says, I was just starting to listen to the latest episode and was upset that Terrence didn't like Bambi because I have such a wonderful association with the music in the film. Then I started thinking, wait, no, I don't.
Exactly.
This is like Clayton number 2.
Yeah, he goes, let me explain. This is kind of Clayton like number 2. In 1987, widely seen as a strange year for music, that's what he says, an album called Stay Awake was released with all the fanfare of a cold fart.
I remember this.
It paired musicians, real musicians, not Disney-friendly shills, with Disney songs to an amazing effect. What made this album stand out most is that it wasn't commissioned or produced by Disney, much to its benefit. It was also produced musically, with musicality put at its first goal. Some very odd pairings happen, which only a music producer would think to put together. Rather than the safe Disney move of having, for example, Pink Elephants on Parade performed by Phil Collins or Elton John, they allowed something called Saturn's very own Sun Ra to have their way with it. I don't know
either.
Saturn. If that doesn't get you through the door, I have to only type these words. Tom Waits singing Hi-Ho.
Whoa.
Tom Waits.
One of
Don't get it.
the worst singers ever, maybe? The guy,
He goes, yes, it's real.
Yeah, he sounds like he's, chewing gravel when he sings. Yeah.
I want
Oh,
that-
here it is right here.
I want that now. I want to take hip hop and pop artists that are currently.
So far, I love it.
He sings really well. I don't know what you're
All right,
talking about.
I'm just gonna go to the middle of the song.
Thank you.
I can't imagine this is the actual song. I think it's. I don't know what I'm listening to.
Primus Tommy the Cat.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'd buy that album. If
Maybe
we
it's-
had
maybe it's
current,
this.
Current pop artists and hip hop artists doing Disney songs.
Ooh.
Be all
No,
over it.
that was it. That was supposed to be it. Okay, anyway, so he says, yes, it's real. I wish it wasn't. I listened to this thing over and over to the point that it's burned into my mind so often I assume everyone is familiar with it. But
I
I'm
am sorry.
But I'm continually shocked that it's not part of everyone's vernacular. As a musician myself, this album stands out to me as a perfect example of how to cover a song. Take risks, be creative, let the song lead the way, to hell with the context the song existed in. Which is why I think I love the music from Bambi. Their take on Little April Shower, which features Michael Stipe in the background role, is lovely. It was out of print for a few years, but I just saw it's back again on Amazon World. Rejoice, he says. If it's something you'd like to talk about further on the show or not, this is something I can geek out about for days. That's very clear. It's a great album in its own right, except for Ringo Starr's ham-handed When You Wish Upon a Star, but that feels intentionally schmaltzy.
It's Ringo.
It's music we either love or know, and I'm a huge production geek. It's so out of hand that I can usually even tell what generation of synthesizers is being used.
Wow.
Ringo Starr, When You Wish Upon a Star. That's why he
Yes,
picked it too. He's
exactly.
like, well, my name is Starr. It's like Taryn picking that song
What?
because your middle name is Starr.
Oh. Thank you. I forgot.
Well, you were very confused.
Well, because I was not paying attention.
Ringo Starr and Herb Alpert. Excuse me.
Herb.
I hate it.
What?
The best thing about Ringo's voice
To let it play.
is that he can play drums.
Is that occasionally he stops singing?
Yes.
Oh man.
Can you get flatter?
He's trying to slide, man. He's trying to
sounds
slide
like
into
it's
that
like-
note, bro.
He's really trying.
It's like 6 a.m. in like a Vegas bar.
Yes.
But like not on the strip.
He's singing. He's literally
the
singing
Biltmore.
with a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh wow, that's horrible.
He's in Tahoe playing. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Thank you.
He's at the Mont Bleu.
He says, speaking of sound things, Jason, have you thought of adding compression to everyone's mic to make them more or less the same level? With the nature of the show being as it is, with people popping in and out at various times, spending an afternoon dicking around with compression on virtually everything would really make the show pop. Yes and yes, essentially. So in the studio, we do have compression running pre-record, but the problem is the chain is. I'm talking in music production now, so everyone just.
I'm with you.
Let Dan and I have this moment here. So the chain doesn't run through the program that we use to record. So when we do live shows from the studio that are beer related, all that chain gets put in line. But this is kind of raw. So now what I do when I process it at home is I put compression on it. So the last couple shows you hear should have compression, and it's kind of normalized and all that kind of stuff. So yes. But it doesn't really happen all the time is, I guess, the answer.
Jason thinks.
Last thing, again, I promise, Clayton, if you want more black market Disney covers that don't suck, but he said more, and I haven't. Okay.
The whole CD he was talking about before Disney covers.
Yeah.
Is he saying those don't suck or do suck?
Right. That do. I can vouch for Dave Digs Disney, a Dave Brubeck take on a bunch of Disney songs. It's really well done and was recorded at the time most of these songs were still actually radio hits. If anything, it's nice, but far, far safer than Stay Awake. Yeah, Stay Awake is a danger zone. Sorry if you read through all this and already knew it was out there. Peace and love, peace and love. There you go. Baba Booey to you all, he says.
Baba Booey.
Thanks for highlighting that.
You're welcome.
Sabrina's in the chat. She did send feedback. Did I not send that to you?
No, it's right here. It was for the last show that we didn't do feedback on. I can read it.
Okay, go for it, please.
Hey, Ears Up crew. Without a doubt, my favorite podcast, smiley face. I've almost listened to all of your episodes, and I can honestly say I love them all. Great heads up about the bringing your own headphones to the Walk and Waltz Footsteps tour. I heard a few people on the tour complain that their headphones were not comfortable.
Yes, they were terrible.
They were bad. Also, now they do not go into Walt's apartment at the end of the tour. Now they take you into the Disney's Dream Suite. It was amazing and something I've always wanted to experience. I also had the honor of pressing the Goodnight Kiss button in one of the rooms where the painting above the bed, which is the Mermaid Lagoon, the lights dim and the mermaids appear. The tour was great. I would love to see if there's a way that you could do a show on Disney tattoos. 75% of my body is tattooed and almost all are Disney themed. I look forward to listening to your new shows and get a little sad when it's over. Lol.
That's nice.
Keep up the magic. P.S. Terrence just added me on Instagram, so hello, new Instagram friend.
What up?
What up?
That's cool. 75% of Disney tattoos. That's insane.
75% of your body.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's like that. He's a lawyer, of all things.
That's funny.
He's also in a punk rock band. It's weird. That's cool. No, I've never thought about doing a Disney tattoo show. But we probably could.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We've got a couple show ideas in here. Disney tattoos and the runners.
Yeah, I think Disney. I do want to do. Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. I do want to do a show about the Disney marathons and stuff. But I just don't know many people who've done them or kind of what to talk about because I'm not a runner or whatever. I guess I'm not in that world, and so I
We
don't
have to
really
get
know.
off the couch to run.
Rude.
That was rude.
I had to say it before you were going to say it.
Terrence's microphone's off now. So I thought about doing like a Disney tattoo. I don't know if we could do a whole show on that. We could do a segment.
It'd be a cool blog.
Oh, I'm sorry, Terry. Are you trying to talk? Are you trying to talk right now?
It'd be a cool blog post.
Are you guys trying to talk right now?
Oh, you're rude.
It's so weird.
I can
Well,
show.
I actually had something to say, but now I'm afraid of being.
No, go
blocked.
ahead, say it.
Because I've been talking to. I have a friend who. No, I have a friend who's a tattoo artist, and we've been talking about designing a sleeve that would be all around Disney.
Okay.
And so
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, I kind of want to do that. And
Do
then every other day, I'm like, I kind of don't want to do that. So-
Yeah, I've been toying with tattoos for like 15 years,
Yeah.
dude. And but I think I kind of want to do it because I don't care anymore about how my body looks. I mean, I'm married. Who
Well, I mean,
cares
obviously,
now, right?
but yeah, go on.
Right.
Awesome.
Terrence, can I have that piece of paper that I threw at you so I can throw it to Terrence? Go ahead, Biff. Sorry, we weren't turned up all the
It's
way.
okay. It wasn't important.
All right, great. Let's do some Disney news, huh?
Yes.
March in the past, present, and future with all the news that's fit to cover. It's the Ears Up Disney News.
It's a weird show.
Yes. Agreed.
This is a weird show.
Not
Sorry
bad.
about that.
I didn't know how it would go. I didn't think we would do an hour of feedback.
There was a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's get right down to it. Apparently, Costco is going to start to sell a California Adventure only annual pass.
Bro.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
I think it's a great idea
You do?
for Southern California people. They think about it. If you live down there and you don't have an annual pass, but you like Carthay, say, but you don't necessarily want to go to Disneyland all the time, I think it's a great option, a cheaper option for people who kind of view it as like just your Friday night thing that you do.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so the Disney California Adventure Fun Pass, because they have to put the word fun in it, because you don't know that Disney California Adventure is not fun yet. Will be sold for $329.99 and include 12 months of admission on select days, plus a 10% discount on food and merch and collectible Disney pin. It's not known yet how many blackout days there would be for the Fun Pass, but it may be comparable to the current, Deluxe Passport, which is sold for $599. $599!
Terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we pay.
And has a similar food and merchandise discount. Is good for 320 days of admission at both parks. Why not just pay the extra $100 and math dollars and get both?
Because I think that's probably what they're trying to drive people to do as well. Just upgrade it and get that. I don't understand the point of this pass at all.
Crowd control. Get people out
Yeah.
of the Disney, the main park.
But who's going to pay 300 and something bucks just to go to one?
People who like Disneyland and alcohol mixed together.
But it's not Disneyland. You have less, well, you don't have the nostalgia. In my opinion, you have a better park, but a lot of people don't feel that way. It just seems like this is a weird thing to do.
This is weird coming from you, the praiser of all
Right?
things DCA.
If I lived in SoCal, I would possibly think about it. But if I'm coming from Northern California, I
How
wouldn't
much
go
is
down
the
there and do
SoCal
that.
pass? Or does that not exist anymore?
I think it's back.
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I think they've pulled it and put it on and pulled it so many times, I don't
I
really
feel
know.
like that one's only like $370 or something, like the last time I checked.
Yeah, but it's only like 180 days. There's a lot of blackout days for it, right? To be honest with you, I've never looked into it
Yeah.
because I don't live in SoCal. I really honestly don't care about it. Yeah, I thought it was weird. I don't see. I mean, Taryn, you're right. I suppose that if you live in SoCal and you want to go to the parks, you're probably just going to end up in DCA anyways. But if you live in Southern California, you should have a pass to
Right.
both parks. So it kind of makes no sense. You're kind of I don't know. You're kind of selling ice to an Eskimo.
When I look at it, and I've talked to people about it, and they said that if they lived in SoCal and they really liked the food and everything of DCA, they would do that. But now you're paying 300 and something bucks a month just to go into a park and spend
year.
A year.
I mean a year
Yeah.
to go into a park and spend more money.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you can go to downtown Disney and get kind of the same thing for free. So I don't know. I don't see this taking off. I know they're trying to do the crowd control and get more people over into California Adventure. And for when I go, hopefully there's more people over there so I can enjoy Disneyland for once.
Well, I
But-
think it's also for like teenagers in Southern California. If you think about that, because they do the raves, for lack of a better term.
The Mad Tea Party?
Right.
Yeah, Mad Tea Party
Do they
stuff.
still do that?
That one's not happening, but the whole thing isn't canceled. Like
Oh,
they're
okay.
still doing stuff there.
They just don't have a band.
And I think they might, but they're just retheming it maybe. But they teenagers, like when I was in college, like that's where people went, and that's when DCA sucked.
Yeah.
So people still went, and like you would just hang out there, and that's what you would do. So I could see this being something for high school age kids and early college, and there's a lot of colleges right in that area. I could see it taking off in that respect, and honestly, I think that it would be good to get those people to stick them over there,
Right.
empty Disneyland a little bit. I don't know.
I wonder if they're going to extend the DCA park hours then.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the other thing.
the
It
thing
closes
isn't open
early.
all that
Yeah,
long.
like 10
yeah.
o'clock on most nights. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
So I was reading a little bit more about the sad story. So I'm kind of trying to put up front the little boy who died at Disney World in the alligator attack. Yeah. Apparently, there were witnesses that tried to warn that family before the attack. Let's see. I'm trying to scan past like the stuff I don't necessarily need to talk about on the radio.
Is that like digging a knife into a wound?
See, I told you.
Well, they're investigating it, so all that kind of stuff is now just coming out, right? So all the cops are talking to witnesses in the parks, and it takes a while to investigate. But this is the part that got me. Several witnesses told investigators that they had seen an alligator in the lagoon earlier that day. One person left his hotel room when he saw that family near the water to warn them, but he didn't arrive in time.
That's horrible.
And then I read another article that said that the park specifically was told 45 minutes before the attack that there was an aggressive alligator in that area, and nobody said anything. So I think I saw something where the family's not going to sue, but that's a lawsuit. Come on.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they knew about it ahead of time, they should have had people. Nobody should have
45 minutes, dude. Right? Come on. Get out of town.
But I mean, how many complaints or notifications do they receive on a regular basis where nothing happens? Right? I mean.
Yeah, but
there's
I mean,
there's a balance there.
But aggressive alligator.
Yeah,
that's a.
So what are those stats, right? I mean,
who knows?
Was there 100? Was there 200? The month before.
Yeah.
It's just this one time that something happened, so now it's called into question.
Well, this
definitely a tragedy.
This could have helped the Disney people. Star Wars owner Disney, which I don't know why they had to put that, plans to build a real functional lightsaber to enhance the audience experience in its upcoming theme parks. Right now, Star Wars parks are rising in Orlando, Florida, and in Anaheim, California. The blah, 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 consistent with Disney's continuing drive to engage all the senses of its captive audience at the theme parks. The patent to develop a working lightsaber was filed 1 year before the purchase of the lands set aside for the Star Wars project. This shows how serious Disney is about addressing an ardent dream, which, according to the Daily Mirror, lurks in the heart of most Star Wars enthusiasts when they were first introduced to the franchise. After all, what is Star Wars without anyone wielding the lightsaber, basically? According to Disney's patent application, the company, according to the source, makes certain modifications as follows. The patent shows a drone shooting a beam of light towards a person holding a lightsaber-like device. The drones that are set to fire the laser beams will use a clever projection system that will enable them to track the lightsaber. So it's not really a lightsaber.
What? If it doesn't make the wow.
But I think it's going to be for a show, and we've talked about how they're filing to use drones in parades and stuff. This is kind of what I've seen, one of the first iterations of that, where you'll have a drone like in Star Wars when Luke, the training orb or whatever, that whole thing. It'll probably be a lot like that, where it'll just kind of interact and they'll time all the sound effects and stuff like that to make it seem like a right, whatever.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
That is cool.
I don't know. I thought it was neat.
That was very scary at first.
Also, this is from The Inquisitor, which I've never heard of before. But come on, you can't say that you can't use the title "Developing a Real Lightsaber" and then say it's a drone shooting a projection. It's not a real lightsaber.
Exactly.
That's what you got me to click on the thing.
You were clickbaited.
I was. Here's some more park expansion thing. This is kind of big news for us Disneyland people. In 2 years, visitors coming to the Disneyland Resort from the south will be parking in a new garage, the sibling to the Mickey and Friends structure that serves visitors driving in from the north. Whatever. This is the worst. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. It's very confusing. The Disneyland Resort has filed its detailed plans for the Eastern Gateway project, which will transform the eastern entrance to the resort over the next 2 years. The centerpiece will be a 7-story, 6,800 space parking garage that will be directly accessible to northbound traffic on Interstate 5 in much the same way that southbound traffic can easily drive into Mickey and Friends. See, just take that first paragraph out, dude. You don't even need it. In addition to the new garage, Disneyland will relocate its transportation hub for shuttle pickup and drop-offs across Harbor Boulevard to a site just north of the new garage. Disneyland's Eastern Security Check will be relocated to that point as well, meaning that visitors will get their bag checked and go through whatever metal detectors they might be using before walking across the pedestrian pathway that will take the place of the soon-to-be-demolished Carousel Inn and Suites and the to-be-constructed pedestrian bridge.
We just stayed there this trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Too soon. If you're thinking, what about people staying in the hotels on Harbor? From the plans Disney has filed with the city of Anaheim, it appears that the current street-level entrance to the Disneyland Resort will be going away. Pedestrian traffic from the east side of the resort instead will enter from a pathway on Disney Way. Then they will walk north past the west. I'm already lost, but anyway, there's a lot of new security checks and stuff coming along. And that would mean a huge increase in walking or a longer shuttle ride for people staying on Harbor, anywhere on Harbor Boulevard. It would also make the restaurants on that street far less convenient for Disneyland visitors.
Yeah, Harbor's like the place to stay.
You know, I thought there was a Q&A that came out recently that actually said no, they're just going to have an entrance on a harbor with a security being handled in a different way.
There may be. I don't know.
Yep.
I'll click out of that article because I don't really like the way it's written anyways. 7 stories, dude.
I like how that's the flagship.
That's
Yeah.
by
We're
the
going
way,
to do all this work, and we're going to be really excited about the parking structure.
I did some
know, right?
math.
Uh-oh.
6,800 parking spots.
Yeah.
That's $122,000 a day at $18 a spot.
That's insane.
Wow.
That's just for the one parking lot.
So the last time I parked in a Disneyland parking lot was last year, and I didn't pay attention to where I parked,
Oh, geez.
and I got lost.
Oh.
Not good.
And I walked around looking for my car.
Oh, that would have been so frustrating.
You press the button to get your car to
My
chirp
battery
at you.
was dead, so
Oh.
I didn't have it. I walked around for 40 minutes.
Oh, Bev.
And Sam and I, like, we parted ways, and we were like, he was like, I'll take Abby and I'll look over here and you go look over there. And finally he called me. He was like, I don't know what to do. Should we just call a cab to drive us around until we find
Yes, you should have.
Like, it was.
That would have been an amazing story.
We left the park when the park ended and the lot was full of cars. I found our car simply because it was the last car in that area.
Wow.
It was horrible. So, point of that story was pay attention where you park.
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
So I went to the OC Register, which is a far better constructed article, and I like this. Parkgoers would go through security and then take the bridge toward the entrances of Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, period. There are no plans for a moving walkway, period. You had to put that in there because that's the first thing I'm thinking of. Like, oh, yeah, moving walkway. You got to no. Oh, God.
Why not?
I don't know. I have no idea.
So much better.
Maintenance.
The whole park should be a moving walkway.
What I don't understand, I mean, and granted, we don't drive in, so I don't know how the parking is. And apparently, in this article, they're saying it's so strained sometimes that guests are directed to park at the nearby convention center or at the Garden Walk Retail Center. Employees on the busiest days park at Angel Stadium and get shuttled to 2
Wow.
miles away. I had no idea that parking was so terrible down there because I just
either.
don't do it.
Uber.
It's crazy.
Lyft.
Crazy. I don't know. So that'll be weird, man, to see that giant parking structure across the street.
Yeah.
That'd be strange. Here's a nice story. I think it's a nice story. Tell me if this is a nice story or not. I'm not entirely sure. This 81-year-old got fired from Disney and refuses to stop working.
Interesting.
He worked on Sleeping Beauty, Mary Poppins, and The Jungle Book. But while those Disney films are ageless, their animators are not, which is why Floyd Norman found himself canned because of his age, supposedly twice. But he keeps showing up to the Disney offices. 16 years later, he's still there, minus a title, a paycheck, or even a badge. His 20 years younger wife, all right, Adrian, a Disney storybook artist, gets him into the Burbank building each day. Don't think
That's not cool.
right?
Not for long.
right? He says, people got used to seeing me so often, they assumed I still worked there. I don't want to sit on the front porch. I want to work. Floyd Norman, An Animated Life, a documentary about the man who never stopped drawing, hits the big screen on Friday. The Santa Barbara, California native found his calling early, crayoning. Whatever. That's a word. Crayoning. Even as he crawled. At 5, he saw Dumbo and knew what he wanted to do. In 56, he found a job at Disney. He was their first African-American animator, but insists he was no Jackie Robinson. God. I didn't break barriers. I was just an artist. Being a woman was a lot tougher there. There wasn't a single female animator when I started. One of his first big jobs was fine-tuning the puppies on 101 Dalmatians. Walt loved the idea of doing a story about dogs in London, he says. After Sleeping Beauty and other fairy tales, Dalmatians seemed fresh and exciting. But films take 2 or 3 years to finish, and Norman wanted to change. When Disney began to work on The Jungle Book, he laid low. I guess he didn't want to do it. And he says, Walt called me in one Friday and told me to pack up my office because they were moving me to the story department. Disney had seen some of his sketches and realized he knew how to tell a story. Blah, 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 a lot of kind of stuff. Sounds like the movie's pretty interesting, so check it out.
He sounds like Milton from Office Space.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
But you know what?
Have you seen my stapler?
We're going to need you to go ahead and move down to the basement.
Yeah.
6
So
inches to the left.
we're going to
I
need you to
feel-
keep drawing. Okay.
I feel like if Walt were alive, he would find this guy a job. Maybe he wasn't good at what he was doing, which is why he got fired.
Well-
but I feel like he would recognize something in this man.
Oh, for sure. So
Yeah.
check this out. He goes, more disappointment came. Well, okay. I'm reading this article and also trying to figure out what to say and what not to say. He's talking about Bill Cosby. He met Bill Cosby. He goes, he was arrogant. He wasn't warm and fuzzy the way he was on stage. I didn't find them likable at all. More disappointment came at Disney in 1972. Walt was gone 6 years, and the accountants ruled the studio. They wanted to replace older workers with younger workers who made half as much, says Norman. He was 37 years old at the time. Off he went to Hanna-Barbera, home to Flintstones and Josie and the Pussycats. Though he's met many a Scooby-Doo fan, Norman wasn't. He didn't like Scooby-Doo. Working there felt like a cartoon factory, grinding out content to sell toys and cereal. Well, I guess. Eventually, Disney's accountant stepped back, and in 1983, Norman came home again. Once Pixar joined the party, he worked on Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story 2. Before he knew it, he was 65. Human Resources told him it was time to retire. Doesn't sound legal to me.
Well, maybe part of the problem is that
Neither
he's-
of those sound legal,
maybe he's still drawing things by hand, and they're like, dude, Milton,
Yeah.
we use computers now.
right?
Yeah, maybe.
I was so shocked, he says, it never occurred to me to push back. Instead, he came back as a contractor. When his contract ended, he pulled a George Costanza and went rogue, hijacking an empty desk. These days, Norman, I don't get the reference. These days, Norman and his Disney-employed wife arrive daily at 7 a.m., but only she collects a paycheck. Disney did not respond to requests for comment. He says, there's no better job than creating something that entertains people, says Norman, now working on a book about Walt Disney. It's putting a little light into a dark world. I mean, cool. I mean, so you know what I mean?
That's not a nice story.
I think it is a nice, but that's what I'm saying. Is it a nice story or is it not a nice story? The man doesn't want to sit at home
It's a sad
because he's
story.
bored, so he goes to work and doesn't get paid. But it sounds like he's doing his own project, but maybe using archives to do it. I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know. Is it
It's
That's
not a
interesting.
terrible.
It's very interesting.
right? It's
I want to
polarizing.
see the movie.
I want to see the
Yeah.
movie. It is called. Maybe we can talk to this guy,
You know what?
Oh, I
if,
bet we-
if he's happy, then I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
right?
You know.
It's called Floyd Norman: An Animated Life. I'll try to book him. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah.
talk
He
to
looks
this
like a
guy.
nice guy. Look at him.
He does look real nice.
He looks real happy. He's
Don't
stylish.
just don't have him in studio. he'll never leave.
He'll never leave.
He's like, I work for Ears Up now.
Yeah, please do.
He's used to not collecting a paycheck.
Right. He'll be
fits
working.
right in.
He'll be working on a book about Jason Petros. Okay, which one? Here, let's do this one first. The Disney Parks Moms Panel is searching for new panelists starting September 7th. You know your boys are going to be auditioning,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't make it last
Do
year.
you need
I
a
didn't-
nomination? Do we have
Or
to
the year
nominate you?
before.
No, I don't think so. I just had to put
I
in
need
my
5 letters of
put in my
reference.
credentials.
Yeah, I am.
Just my credentials.
Oh yeah,
There's like a whole test.
Jason
Jason did it too.
I've tried it too.
panel.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Oh
But like dads, I mean, that's the
You
thing.
don't have to be a mom.
no, there's
No, but-
dads that are on there. Grandparents.
But it
Yeah.
started as the moms panel, and then I think everyone complained because that's very sexist in a time when you can't be sexist. Come on, get over it. So
a
it's
safe
called
zone.
the moms panel, even though there's not. You don't have to even be a mom. It's very strange. I don't understand their marketing. It's very bizarre.
Number one, how do you feel about the disability?
And do you have any recorded audio of your opinion? The application window will open at 12 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, September 7th, and close at 12 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, September 14th. The first round application process includes short essay questions, basic information, and a sample question similar to what you find on the Disney Parks Mom Panel website. This is the 10th year. The first Mom Panels launched in 2007, and since then, more than 140 moms, dads, grandparents have helped other guests make decision and planning logistics around all types of Disney vacations. So here, there's like they point to like a bunch of Q&A stuff, right? So, like for example, when is a good slow time during the summer to visit?
There's none.
This is how you and I would answer. Like they're kind of really. Here's an answer. Read you the answer, and they're all like this and irritating. Hi, Ashante. Thanks for stopping by with your question. Summer is usually a very busy time at the resort. Late August is my favorite period during summer. Parks tend to be less busy, but it's still very hot and humid in Orlando. Perfect weather for enjoying Disney's water parks. If you're looking for more information regarding crowd levels, I suggest you visit easywww.com or touringtours.com for checking their crowd calendars. I usually check them when planning my own vacation. Hope this helps with your planning. Come back again and visit us soon. Wishing you a wonderful day. Oh my God, it's a paragraph.
You guys are never gonna.
Bro, I'd be like, don't go.
Yeah,
That's
none.
it. Don't go.
None days.
None days. None of them. Now, so here's another question. If our plane arrives, if a bus leaves Orlando, God, if our plane arrives at 10:45 a.m. and we'll be staying at the Dolphins Resort, what is the appropriate time for a lunch or an early dinner reservation?
Tuesday.
When are you going to be hungry?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Is it suitable if I plan our meal at Epcot and then head to the Magic Kingdom for MNSSHP? I don't know what that means.
Mickey Mouse's super
Sailing hipster.
sailing away.
Right. So here's the answer to that. Hello, Noor. What a lovely day you have planned. I love arriving at Walt Disney World early in the day so we can get our vacation started.
Do we have a shotgun sound?
If you want to make dining reservations in Epcot, I recommend reserving something mid-afternoon. That's not the question. That literally isn't the question. And
I'd say you should eat at like 10.
I know, right? Like, I don't know.
wait.
I guess that's part of my problem with some of these questions. It's just all this fluff. And I guess that's what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I don't know.
Do the princesses appear at bus? What?
I want to know if Disney bus transportation is the quickest and easiest way back to the hotel when leaving the park for midday naps.
No.
Hi, Jason. Thanks
It's the
for your
only way.
question.
Hi, Tanya. I think you have a great plan to make sure your little ones stay rested. Walt Disney World is so much fun, but it sure is a party. I can't even say what I want to say.
Weird.
right
I
now.
like naps too.
We're not getting selected.
Put your kid in a stroller and let them sleep.
Honestly,
Don't leave.
yeah. The application process is a little extensive. I wouldn't even bother.
Oh, no, I'm trying.
Oh, I'm doing it too.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Oh, I could care less.
I'm not doing it again.
I'm not doing it.
Is it park specific or is it just?
I think
general
no, it's
Disney?
just in general, but
Okay.
I feel like they pick people and focus on different stuff. So they do talk about the Disney cruises or whatever. I don't think it's all like Disney World
Right.
stuff like that, but
Right.
I don't know. It'll be fun. You get luggage, and I think you get like a free trip to Disneyland or whatever. You get stuff. Apply. You should apply.
I'll apply for Aulani. There's just nobody applying for it.
Nice.
Amazing.
Just play the game. Play the numbers.
When's a good time to travel to Hawaii?
Hi, Beverly.
All the time.
Thanks for your question.
Whenever.
Whenever. I really like traveling to Hawaii too. There's nothing I like more than getting off that plane and just going right to the bar and get super drunk.
Go ahead and leave your kids at the airport.
Vomit on the beach looks very different in the day than at nighttime. One time I had a. All right, last but not least, this is a weird. I don't know why I'm including it. I think it's bizarre. Greg, this is for you. If you're bummed over the One Direction hiatus, apparently One
Sure you-
Direction.
probably
I
you are.
tried a little.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
I have some
Direction.
news that will perk you right up. According to Variety, Disney Channel's new project called Forever Boys
That sounds so wrong
Right?
and creepy.
is a sitcom about a boy band made up entirely of vampires.
What?
Yes.
world.
Yes!
This is Bev's favorite thing ever.
Disney's latest show is about an internally youthful boy band, also known as the best kind of boy band. The chances of these guys going on hiatus are slim. The band that is turned into vampires together stays together. Forever Boys is set to star Forever in Your Mind, the up-and-coming band whose members are Disney favorites, Ricky Garcia, Emery Kelly, and Liam Aitridge. The band's brand recognition and addictive pop tunes make them prime candidates to be the next breakout boy band. Adding a beautifully silly sitcom plot to the mix is just an added bonus.
There's been a hole in my heart since Wizards of Waverly Place wrapped up, so at least I can get on board.
Was that the one with Ariana Grande?
No, Selena Gomez.
Oh, sure.
Everybody is sure to fall for a show about a vampiric boy band just trying to live their lives as normal teens.
This is the
We can
most
all relate.
ridiculous thing
We
I've
can
ever
all
heard.
relate to that.
By far, the best part of the premise is the part where the boys were turned during their first concert in 1957.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
After the whole being turned into vampires thing, the guys disappear from the limelight in order to live reclusive lives. It takes being rediscovered by a record producer in 2016 to bring the boys out of hiding.
This is a great idea.
This
It's
is
a good idea for a show. For a teenage show, it's a great idea.
This is a weird article. They go, if I could think up my dream idea for a sitcom, that summary would be it.
Did they sparkle in the
Really, bro? That's your dream idea for a sitcom? If these guys were teens in their 50s, their music would have to include a classic pop sensibility, and their lack of interaction with the modern world will no doubt lead to all sorts of wacky misunderstandings. Done right, this comedy could totally fit right in with the 90s fare. Like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's not the 90s anymore, right?
Well, I mean, Liv and Maddie is out there that it really works with the teen girls, but for us guys, there's not much out there. So, I'm kind of excited for this.
And last but not least, Terrence, what are the names of Dorothy's two children?
Dorothy?
Dorothy in Golden Girls.
Oh, Michael and
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Earlier in the show, or before the show, Terrence like, dude, I got this quiz, this Golden Girls quiz, 100%.
No, he said he missed 4.
Oh, he did?
Miss 3.
Whatever.
I can't remember the daughter's name.
What's Rose's birth father's profession?
He was a clown?
Nope, he was a monk.
Monk, that's what it was. Okay, sorry.
Same difference.
What's
Is this really a quiz right now?
Yes. What's the name of Sophia's retirement home?
Shady Pines.
Yeah, you're right. What did Rose's adoptive parents want her to be when she grew up?
I don't remember that one.
Do you want? There's 4 questions.
Yeah,
There's 4
multiple,
answers.
yeah, multiple.
Professional dancer, heart surgeon, champion ice skater, psychiatrist.
Ice skater.
Look at you, dude. What's the name of Blanche's gay brother? Boyd, Clayton,
Clayton.
Jeez.
Wow, look at you. What's Dorothy's career?
Substitute teacher.
What is wrong with
Wow. In the pilot, what's the name of Blanche's fiance? John, Harry, Neil, or Larry?
Oh, man. I don't remember. I'm going to say John.
Harry. This is billed as the hardest Golden Girls quiz you'll ever take.
That's a good question.
How long were Dorothy and Stan married for? Is the last one.
38 years?
You didn't even Wow!
Oh,
Who are you?
oh.
I'm a Golden
Not
Girl.
surprised. We have a
Terez.
window.
We have a window. I'll do the window.
Okay. This window is on Hideo Amemiya.
Why are you guys making up?
Is that how you would say that?
Waffle
Sure.
syrup the first show. And now
Amemiya. Yeah, okay. He was born in Tokyo. Shocker.
I'm sure it was a girl.
No, it's a man.
Cool.
Tokyo, September 4th, 1944. He graduated from Raiko University with a bachelor's degree in social science and then earned a second bachelor's degree in hotel and restaurant management from the University of Massachusetts. So what he did was he was a huge part in making the magic at the Disneyland resorts through his years as a cast member. Basically, he was hospitable to people while they were guests at the location. He joined the Walt Disney Company in 1971. He started his career at the Polynesian Hotel.
Love that place.
Is that where you guys stayed?
No, but I want to stay there.
Oh. I lost my place. Sorry. He had a degree in hotel and restaurant management, and with it, he was able to bring a level of quality and service to the Disneyland policies on guest service and hotel management. The resort operations at Walt Disney World were based on the same standards that were being set at Disneyland. However, he's quoted as saying it took some time for true Disney philosophy to become integrated into a hotel operation.
I bet.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Right?
If he were working, nobody would have been digging in their ear while you checked in.
That's for sure. You better believe that.
He was the Walt Disney World Director of Resort Operations prior to being assigned to the Tokyo Disneyland project. He assisted in making sure the Disneyland brands and standards were clear and implemented with the Oriental Land Company, who were the owners and operators of one of the first overseas Disneyland parks, or Disney parks, I should say. He's also credited in helping make the Japanese culture clearer to the Imagineers and artists so that the culture could be portrayed properly in the park.
That's cool.
Yeah. He held several executive positions at Tokyo Disneyland, and then he returned to Anaheim, where he was vice president and general manager of the Disneyland hotels. All of them.
Wow.
In 2000, he was promoted to senior vice president of Disneyland Resort Hotels. His duties included overseeing operations at the Disneyland Hotel, Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. During his tenure in Anaheim, he managed the Grand Californian's opening as well as the transition from the Disneyland Pacific Hotel into the Paradise Pier Hotel. He basically oversaw everything. And he was also the head boss of the 7,000 cast members who work at those 3 hotels.
Oof.
Wow.
Right? After 30 years at the company, he passed away in February 2001 after a brief illness at the age of 56. 2001 was also the year he was honored with a window on Main Street. His window reads, "Happiest Dreams on Earth, International School of Hospitality, Hideo Amimeya, Headmaster, We Put People First." For all that he did, he was also named a Disney legend in 2005. So the next time you stay at a Disneyland Resort Hotel, be sure to tip your hat to the headmaster Hideo for your magical stay. His window is located above Disney Showcase in Town Square.
Cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you. All right. The fact of the show, I'm going to read out of this book I got. It's kind of long, but, whatever.
So is the show.
I like it. That's true. And then we'll get out of here. The Disney studio, in addition to kind of being run as a factory, also saw its fair share of pranks and horseplay. As Ward Kimball later recalled, quote, "Sheer desperation seemed to bring out a never-ending stream of humor." Jack Kinney told the famous story of how staff members once convinced, this is such a good quote, once convinced a gullible associate that Walt was too busy to do the voice of Mickey on the radio and had expressed interest in him as a replacement. A mock audition was set up for this poor man in a studio, but the microphone was hooked up to the intercom as fellow workers looked on from the windows of adjoining buildings. Told that his falsetto Mickey voice lacked depth and vibrancy, the eager staffer was put through a series of ridiculous paces by the sound engineer, who asked him to jump up and down while speaking, then to grasp the microphone while he jumped, and finally, since his clothes were supposedly squeaking, to remove his shoes and socks and pants while jumping.
Inappropriate.
As he cavorted and gyrated, observers laughed until tears rolled down their faces.
That's just
That's fantastic.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
That's amazing.
Kidding me? Yeah, apparently they also, like, the secretary of the animation department was also their bookie. Like in the 30s. Like, that place is wild, man.
Wow.
Anyway, this has been the show. Thanks a lot, everybody, for sticking with us. Hope you had a good time. The feedback, we had a lot of great feedback. Thank you very much, everybody who wrote in, and we'll see you in the parks.